As conversations about potential industrial development north of Woodbine was taking place, the ever inflating population of the city continued to grow until it was no longer capable of housing the residents with its current capacity. As a result, many residents began purchasing property on the other side of Interstate 7. Here, they built homes and opened businesses to supply the growing rural town with goods to purchase and a few services to assist with the area's development. The county would come to recognize this area as its own town, providing it with the name of Maplewood. Heyo and welcome to another episode of Pine Harbor County, where we will use and abuse the new operating district mechanic that was introduced in Cities Skylines 2. In the last episode, we provide the county a little tender loving care, and this week I want to fill in a small space east of Interstate 7 and north of Blackpool. Since we've been building a lot of heavier density areas the last several episodes, I thought it might be refreshing to build a small rural town. And because we got this name suggestion a while back, and I really just cannot resist building an area for this anymore. Thank you again, Ceramic Raccoon, for the great name suggestion. I hope you enjoyed today's build. Alrighty, well, since we are going to be building an entire mini district today, let's not procrastinate at all and let's jump right on into building our new town of Maplewood. Alright, so we have a bit of a zoomed out map here because I wanted to just take a second to show everyone exactly where I was thinking. Right here, where my cursor is following, is Interstate 7, and right now it's heading, this is the north part of the map. So I was thinking we could come on into this area right here and build a small, more rural town of Maplewood. So right away, the first thing I want to do is come in and I want to connect a two-lane two-way highway here, and then just up here again. We'll also come in and we're going to just draw in the district right along the Jack Pine Highway right here. So let's jump on in and get those technicalities out of the way. All right, and then there is a few things I do want to add to this area. I do want to add that roadside parking fee, and I want to bring that up. And then I think we want to add the heavy traffic ban. So, trucks and other heavy vehicles are forbidden from entering the district. This reduces noise and air pollution and can help traffic congestion. The highways remain unaffected. So hopefully what this will do is keep from all the traffic here trying to bypass right down into this area. This should allow them to continue to come through Maplewood, I'm hoping. And it won't affect this area, or I guess this, where the district overlaps the highways and the interstates. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. I just don't want these getting too congested. All right, next, I want to establish a few services such as elementary schools, a firehouse, and maybe even a small post office to give this kind of a small town rural vibe. I want to keep the services in this area rather bare as we have a surplus that can commute over from Bunyan's Rest, and because I want to keep it kind of small, keep that small town rural vibe. So what I'm thinking of doing is just kind of running off a road here and here, and we'll square in this area here maybe. I'm doing this a little bit, what's the terminology? On the seat of my pants. I think that's the terminology. Either way, I'm improvising this a little bit here as I've changed up how I've wanted to do this a couple of times. So I think where we are actually going to start is coming in, and I want to get just a 4-lane road so we have some zonable area. And this is going to be Main Street. So Main Street is established, not a particularly big area, but that's okay. That's kind of actually what I want here. So next what I'm going to do is I want to come in just a small two-lane road here. And I think we'll actually come in here and here and then just square that off nicely. And just to help with the traffic, I'm going to put 2 small roundabouts right here. Means I'll probably actually want to extend this on the other side a little bit too, I think. So there's actually an area where I live where the center of town kind of forced the traffic to slow down by adding little roundabouts. And it's created this really adorable sort of colonial feel that I'm going to try and emulate a little bit with that. I mean, I don't have colonial buildings, unfortunately. It's not a architectural style that we can implement yet. But I think that we can still kind of get the right vibe for it. So now that we have that, let's come on in and let's add in some of those services. We'll probably have to wiggle a few things around. Okay, I think I can deal with this for the most part. Really love how those chunky buildings in the background kind of act as a silhouette to this. So, a couple last things I just want to do real quick is kind of reconfigure our crosswalks for a quick moment. I'd rather leave no crosswalk on the roundabouts. I'd rather leave it like that. So next what I'd like to do is kind of square parts of this off a little bit here and integrate some actual commercial zoning. So what I think I'd like to do is come in here, and oh, we can. I love the new road mechanics. So what I'm going to do is sneak a little alleyway in here. All right, and then just what I want to do is come on in with our commercial zoning, and we're going to actually do a little bit of mixture here. I'm going to put a little bit of big and a little bit of small. If we're going big though, I am going to keep it the European high density as they don't get too tall. All right, let's kind of take a look and see how this looks from eye level. Okay, I think I like this for the most part. The only one that I find a little too chunky for what I'm aiming for is this one right here. So that's a 4x4. Okay, so that's just mainly the type of asset that spawned. I think we're going to do just one thing. We'll kind of let this grow in on its own. I think we're going to change those to low density. See if we can't get a higher guy over there. Okay, so we'll let those build in and start working on our next section, which is residential. Alrighty, so while we continue to play a little bit of whack the growable with these assets here, I figured let's come on in and let's create a bit of a rural road layout. So what I think we're going to start with is just bringing this all the way up to where our alley meets on either side. And then just beginning to kind of curve it out a little bit and give it a little bit more shape. And then on this side, we're going to be careful because I want to make sure we don't infringe on this fertile land over here. All right, and before we get into discussing zoning, I have found just through experience that when you want to make very rural areas like this that are more like, I guess, I don't know how to call it, backwoods a little bit, I find it's easier if you come in and you splatter in a bunch of trees first and then come in for the zoning second. So let's work on that by coming in. Let's just start with our oak tree. Let's get the forest brush. Let's get a pretty big brush here. And we'll go up to 70 and we'll just kind of put in our regular tree palette here. Okay, looking pretty good. So I want to try a little bit of an experiment with our zoning here. And what I want to do is actually do a bit of a mixture of the low density North American, the low density North American waterfront, and the same for the European. I want to kind of get just a stock of what some of these assets look like. I'm also really curious to see if any of them will actually just go good together. What I am also going to do just very, very quickly is I do just want to put a little bit, just a little smidgen, maybe not that big of a smidgen, but just a little bit of, there we go, of low income housing and medium density. So we'll let those kind of fill in, and I think I'm actually going to put a little bit of variety in here. There we go. Put in a little bit of variety, and then let's come on in and let's just kind of change throughout, I guess, for lack of better words. So we'll come in and maybe dot just a few European. And we'll continue to do the same thing with the other zoning types. Alrighty, let's kind of zoom on in here and just take a look at how everything is and how it all blends together. So honestly, this is, I think, the European. beachfront, and I really, really like those. I also really love that there's this little for sale sign right up in the front. Oh, that's so cute. Anyway, so how does it all look together? If we just actually zoom in here and just kind of scroll along. Okay, so I think the variety actually comes together pretty nicely. Every now and then, a couple of them seem a little out of the ordinary. The European beachfront in particular. But I like them kind of just too much. I really like the American ones, honestly. These I really kind of like how they come out. These could really honestly just be suburban houses on their own. What I do know, though, is that this guy is too tall. So, we are going to knock him down a little bit. There we go. I must have accidentally had North American on that on accident. And then as the trees grow in, it will seem a little less manufactured. Question mark? Oh, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but words are not on my side this evening. It's a little too late at night, too. It's about, I don't know. Let's look at the clock here. About 9:30 p.m. my time when I'm recording this, so I can't even drink some coffee or else I'll be up all night. So let me know down in the comments, do you think that mixing the European low density, European beachfront, North American low density, and North American beachfront goes well together? If so, obviously say yes. If not, let me know if you think there's a particular combination that would look good together. I'm very curious, so I'd love for your guys' input. All right. So if you are wondering why I chunked out this entire area for what was going to be is a small rural town, it's because I do want to put some specialized industry in. Originally, episode 26, I wanted to do a really big industry build, but I haven't quite planned it out enough for what I want. But I don't want to miss the opportunity to grab this fertile land here and this forestry area here. Yes, we have a really big ore deposit right here. However, when I was playing around just off camera and I came into this view, seeing these big chunky drilling machines, I did not like it. Did not like it. So instead, look at how cute Maplewood's coming out. Nice little rural area. Anywho, so let's come on in, and I do want to take advantage of the fertile land here and the forestry here. And you may have noticed me jump into this production tab earlier. It's because this down here in the material goods is such a deficit. And we're going to be putting some generic industry in, some more scattered generic industry, so the air and ground pollution isn't too awful for any residences living nearby. But then we're also going to put in specialized industry to kind of help extract and try to get more surplus than we have these deficits. Right now, funny enough, it's the vegetable that's deficit. Usually it's the grain. And I think I'm still going to go for grain because grain can get processed into, I believe that's petrochemical, convenience food, and beverages. And we have a huge deficit in petrochemicals, a off-the-charts deficit in convenience foods, and we could we could probably use some beverages. So I think we're gonna, well, maybe actually we could fit all three. I don't know. Let's play around a little bit and let's see what we can put together. Okay. I kind of really like how that came out. And we got a decent amount of production in here too. So we have, basically it's 2 grain farms, but about of the same area as the cotton and the, what was that one? Vegetables, I think I did. Yeah. And then a little livestock farm also, because why not? Chickens. Yeah. I like how that came out. All right, so I would also like to try and sneak in some forest industry in here. So what I'd like to do is come right into this area and yeah, just kind of build in the forest industry and try to capitalize on as much area as I possibly can. Forest industry is kind of honestly a really basic thing because really the only decoration is the discolorization in the greenery. But I kind of like how this came out. If you happen to hear a little teaser at the beginning of this episode about an industrial site being planned out, yeah, we are correct on that. Initially, I had kind of planned on doing a big industrial build and kind of fell in love with building Maplewood instead for this episode. However, as we look at our production chain here, it's so bad. I'm pretty sure I've even already mentioned this so far in this episode. This is so bad. We need generic industry a lot. So, while I don't want to go heavy on the industry, I am going to come in and dot a few factories throughout this area, keeping in mind that our wind pattern is this way. And I'm going to keep it on this side because if we build any residential here or up here, I don't want to accidentally poison them. I think they'd appreciate that. So let's come on in and let's just dot in a handful of small factories. Okay, I think I can like how this turned out for the most part. Again, I didn't want to go heavy on the industry. One, for pollution's sake. Two, because, I don't know, it's kind of more of a raw resource kind of area. But I really just, I like how the game sometimes will just... Oh, I guess I thought we had more timber products here than we really do. We did really need some electronics though, so that's good. Let's see how... Yeah, this looks really good too. I really like just how these farms, just because the way the three of them set, they just came out looking really good. Anywho. Alrighty. Let's continue on. So I really just love the view of farms with some of our taller skyscrapers dotted throughout the county. Just really, really nice. I don't know what else to really say about that. Just it's really good. Anywho, let's jump on into a beautifying the build time lapse. This isn't going to be a particularly long one. As I really only feel that the best place to decorate is down here. And for the most part, this is a rural town, so it's not going to have the same sort of heavy decoration as, say, Woodbine did here with, an art museum and a botanical garden. But nonetheless, let's jump on in and let's have a little bit of fun with that line tool that we have. Alrighty, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. If you enjoyed, please consider hitting the like button below, and if you wish to follow along for more Pine Harbor County, please hit that subscribe button. Today's episode was a bit unplanned, but I really like how Maplewood turned out, and if you also liked the build or have a suggestion for today's build, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.